Maayong gabi everyone and welcome sa atong programang Mutubag sa atong pangutana kabahin sa balaod ug kinabuhi. Kini ang Ask Atty Migs ug syempre no ako ang inyong host Ace Perez. And syempre dili nato sugdan ang ato ang program karong gabi una kung wala ni siya. Of course atong i-welcome karon dayon Atty Migs Nograles. Maayong gabi Attorney.
Mayang gabi, Ace, mayang gabi sa tanan, bagong adlaw, bagong hisgutanang legal. O karon na tayo live episode,
Another
diba?
live
So,
episode na pod Attorney.
yes, ato ang second live na episode. O sa
Yes.
karon nga live na episode, ato ang sulayan tubagon ang mga pangutanang bahin sa Cyberlibel para naman mahibalaan nato kung unsa man ang mga kinahanglan buhaton kung kamo makaatubang sa inyong aming sitwasyon.
Yes,
Diba?
Yes, attorney, no, exciting ni siya, no, especially sa ato ang tanan kay involved na no, naata tanan sa internet. So,
Yes.
maano na ta makatabang ni sa atua kung maka-encounter ta gin-ani or mabutang ta sa inani nga sitwasyon. So, atong
Mm.
istoryahan ang again cyber libel.
Yes, 'di ba sa panahon ng millennials, grabe
Yes.
ng mga posting og daghan kaayo naga-share, naga-like, kung unsa-unsa man and daghan kaayong mga tao nagapangutana sa ato ang page. So maraming salamat sa lahat ng mga nagapangutana. Ginasulay namin tubagon usa-usa pero medyo
Yes.
marami so medyo
Hintay lang sila attorney, no?
oo,
But rest assured na matubag
antay-antay
sila.
lang kayo. Yes,
Oo.
yes. We will try our best.
Siyempre ang hisgutan nga cyber libel attorney kuan siya sa mga post na to online og uban pod na kanang naga-share lang sila, naga-comment og mga fake news or anything na kaning makategorize under cyber libel. Ang daghan sa atoa nga wala kabalo nga pwede day sila makasuhan or mapriso tungod niini.
Totoo 'yan. Ug siyempre para 'di ba mas atong makasabot sa kining cyber libel, medyo special din ang ato ang episode karon, 'di ba? Kay hindi lang tayo ngayon live with
Yeah.
our partner for today which is St. Thomas More School of Business and Law. Andito ang mga college students from the St. Thomas More College of I think Criminology. And also the law school students who are here with us. They are commenting. Makita mo nagko-comment sila
Yes,
ngayon. Yes, mga nagpa-shoutout. Mamaya sila yan natin kung kaya pa natin sabihin yung mga shoutout. But lalo sa mga students ko, good evening. So this is in partnership with them. Sila talaga yung nagsabi, sana naman we can discuss cyber libel. So instead of Ask Attorney Migs, meron din tayong portion na may dalawa tayong special guests today. So may segment tayo na Ask Attorney Paul and Ask Sergeant Buentipo, di ba?
Ayun. So gikan ni sila no sa ato ang City Prosecutor's Office og of course sa ato ang Regional Anti-Cybercrime Unit. So daghan kayong salamat, magpasalamat tadaan sa ilahan no. And later ato silang makauban to discuss more about kini ato ang topic for this episode ang cyber libel. Okay, so attorney no, medyo taas-taas pa ni siya nga discussion no and basin mahurot atong oras. So ato anang sugdan ang ato ang discussion for tonight. So unsa ba ning libel attorney? Unsa ba ang difference niya sa cyber libel?
'Di ba, I think napag-usapan natin ito in passing on one of our episodes, no? Na yung libel, ito yung malicious imitation of a vice, a crime, an act, a defect, na real or imaginary that you made publicly. So malicious imputation siya. Pero katong sa libel, ito yung alam natin or slander, yung sa unang panahon, yung mga yan written or may newspaper publication. Karon sa panahon ng millennials sa social media world, 'di ba, ngayon na puro na tayo post and may internet age, nag-adjust naman ngayon ang atong balaod, ang mga balaod nato which is Republic Act 10175 or the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012. And may specific provision doon on cyber libel. So, these are the elements of libel, but ang dinagdag dito is when the imputation is done through the use of a computer system. So, may imputation yung mga elements nandito, yung imputation of a crime, a vice, defect, real or imaginary, or any act, omission, condition, status, or circumstance. Yung imputation must be made publicly. Unsa man ibig sabihin nun? It means more than one person yan. Hindi lang yung nag-type, hindi yung ikaw lang kausap mo sarili mo. Someone must be able to see that, di ba? The imputation must be malicious, which usually sa libel, presumed na malicious yan. So may knowledge na ito's false or with reckless disregard for the truth or falsity. And then it must be directed to a person. So malaman nimo kung kinsa man talaga ang itong taong ginasabi niya or identifiable siya by a third person. It tends to cause dishonor, discredit, or contempt. And of course, most importantly, nagiging cyber libel siya dahil nga, it is now through the use of a computer system or similar means or yung mga devices na ganon. So, ito ang pinaka-common, Twitter, Facebook, ano pa ba ang mga mga Snapchat?
Yeah.
Ano ba yung mga?
Kasi anything sa social media
Instagram,
siguro
yes. So,
online.
basta through the use of a computer system. I think kahit nga yung mga sinaunang panahon na computer, basta computer. And mas malalaman natin yan through the experts na talagang sila ang mas may alam kung unsa man ang dapat buhaton kapag cyber libel or kung cyber libel nga ang mga sitwasyon na ganon.
Yes, so I'm sure na excited na to ang mga viewers, attorney, to meet our special guest for tonight. But
Yes.
since na-mention naman ni mo, attorney, no, ang kaning elements of cyber libel, let's talk about coverage. No, kung unsa ba ang sakop no sa cyber libel when it comes kung unsa ang online platforms or ang mga electronic information na covered
Yeah.
ni.
So, mostly, as long as it's done through the using sa element, sa last element, ang pinaka-importante is use of a computer system or any similar means. Later on, si Fiscal and Sergeant will answer this more kasi in practice sila mas may alam ng in practice kung unsa man ang usual. But the most common nga is katong social media mga platforms na to.
Okay, so muna siya no ang coverage sa cyber libel. But attorney, syempre mas kung makabalo ang atong mga viewers no o kani mga nag-post no online, makabalo sila kung unsa ba ang mga penalties no, unsa ba ang madawat or madawat sa kani mga mag-commit og cyber libel.
Yes. So sa atong balaod sa RA 10175, it says there na it is a 1 degree higher from libel. So that means prison mayor siya because libel is prison correctional. What does that mean? Minimum of 6 years, 1 day, to 8 years, or medium period niya is 8 years, 1 day to 10 years. Kung tinatanong niyo kung bailable siya, yes, it is bailable. Diba yun yung nakita natin sa sitwasyon ni kay Maria Ressa. Yes, nakapag-bail naman po siya. So, bailable offense po siya. But of course, please, do not do cyber libel na parang maisip nyo na bailable siya tapos biglang, ay, bailable naman pala. So, please try to avoid.
Sayang na ang i-bail nila. So, dili nila mag-commit.
Yes.
So karon attorney no na mention na nato ang elements, ang coverage ug ang penalties. Karon na atay live kani diretso na ta attorney natay live guest no sa gikan sa ato ang partner school nga St. Thomas More School of Law and Business. Ato ang i-welcome diri sa ato ang studio no, sa atong virtual studio si Lady Lou Pedro na siya ipangutana sa ato. This is PM kay Attorney Migs. Welcome, Lady.
Of course.
Hello po.
Hello,
good evening, everyone.
Yes, actually student ko siya. Hello, and we got her consent. Nag-PM po siya sa Ask Attorney Migs and we got her consent if she can ask this live. Nag-yes naman po siya. So, Ms. Pito, go ahead and ask your question.
Sige po. The situation is this. The person found out na ang kanyang FB account ay hacked and she had poster accounts who used her pictures and her name with slight change lang or difference in spelling. There were also several individuals who complained that these accounts scammed them. And the victims of these poster accounts tag her real FB account and accused her as a scammer. Nag-post din po sila ng mga defamatory accusations against her na manggagancho, manloloko. And they also uploaded screenshots of conversations nga nagpapatunay na yung mga account na yun na tinatag nila ay nanloko or nang scam sa kanila. And even these complainants mentioned na her children in the comments. So, ang question ko po, attorney, is, can this person file for cyber libel against those netizens who posted defamatory accusations on her timeline and tagged her as a scammer? Is there in any way na she can trace po those who stole her identity and those people behind those poster accounts?
Okay, thank you for that question, Miss Pido. Actually, kung ako ang tatanungin mo, mas nakikita ko na parang may identity theft portion dito that is also sakop ng Cybercrime Prevention Act. At the same time, there is a part of cyber libel, but ito nga yung aspetong mahirap. Kay kinsa man ang habulin nimo, 'di ba? Because in cyber libel, what I know is that ito yung kung sino man ang author na nag-post ang liable. But if you like or you share or you repost sa atuang balaod, and this is based on jurisprudence, the Dicini case that liking and sharing is not aiding and abetting. It's unconstitutional for cyber libel. So that is what I see of it. But itong aspeto na to, mas kayang tubagon ni ng ating expert sa ganitong aspeto. So I think this is the time wherein we will change the segment of Ask Attorney Migs to Ask Attorney Paul.
Yes, so i-welcome nato no sa ato ang programa si Assistant City Prosecutor Attorney Peter Paul Tombo. Maayong gabi, attorney, and welcome sa ato ang programa.
Maayong gabi, Fiscal.
Maayong gabi, Attorney Migs, maayong gabi, Ace, and maayong gabi sa tanang viewers din sa Ask Attorney Migs sa Sunstar, Davao. Good evening, Lady Lou.
Good evening,
Should I
attorney.
answer it?
Yeah,
Okay.
please do. Mas
Medyo marami-rami yung questions mo. Maraming aspect yung question mo. But definitely for the sinabi na ni Attorney Migs kanina yung elements of cyber libel, no? So the different actually the first question is traditional libel under RPC and cyber libel under RA 10175, are they the same libel? Diba? Kasi ang pagka-define sa Section 4C4, sinabi na diba na
yung under Article 355 of the RPC.
It is the same libel daw, sabi din sa Dicini. But merong difference sa elements eh. It has the same element with pertaining to malicious imputation. It has the same element pertaining to defamatory statement. Publication when it is already when it comes to the knowledge of any third party, then it is considered publication. But what is peculiar about cyber libel is that it is done through the use of a computer system or information communication technology. And ang Facebook po ang pinakamagandang example ng information communication technology. Ang any social media platform is a very good example of information communication technology. And what is another peculiar element for cyber libel? It is user attribution. Okay? What is user attribution? It is an evidence wherein it begs to ask the question, sino ba talaga ang person behind the computer who posted that defamatory statement in Facebook? Kasi, for instance, Facebook account ni Ace Perez, diba? Tapos nag-post siya ngayon ng defamatory statement against A. Automatically ba si Ace Perez kaagad ang liable? No. Because sa technology ngayon, there could be a lot of people who can access Ace Perez Facebook account. So there must be another evidence, extrinsic evidence, that would prove that it was really Ace Perez who is behind the computer. Okay. So, doon sa tanong mo, if the accusations posted at Facebook is if they are liable for cyber libel, yes, they are, because it is defamatory, it is malicious, it is published in in an online platform, which is an example of ICT. But the problem is, do you have evidence of user attribution? 'Di ba? So yung complainant ba, meron ba siyang evidence na yung talagang person who posted that and used that account is really the same person who is behind the computer and posted that defamatory statement? It doesn't follow if the Facebook account is a namesake of another person, yun na kaagad siya ang liable. So yun yung pinakamahirap na element ng cyberlibel, ang element of user attribution. Now, sinabi mo rin kanina, 'di ba, na her FB account was hacked. So definitely that is another cybercrime under RA 10175. So that person again who hacked the account of that Facebook account may be liable for illegal access under RA 10175. Now, you also mentioned that there were photos used in that account. So there could be, tama si Attorney Migs, it's another cybercrime under RA 10175, which is computer-related identity theft. Now, because the account was hacked, that person, whoever he is, was able to scam other persons, 'di ba? Using the hacked Facebook account. So if it will be proven kung sino talaga ang person behind that person may also be liable for computer-related fraud. Computer-related fraud is another cybercrime under RA 10175. So yun yung magiging pwede mong i-file na charges against doon sa person given that the element of user attribution has been satisfied. Okay. Mm-hmm. Did I answer your question?
Yes po. Thank you, Attorney.
Alright, so daghan jud day kaayo na daghan na cybercrime ang na-involve ani nga case no ni Ma'am Lady
Yes.
Lupi. So daghan kay tag natun-an no from Assistant City Prosecutor Attorney Peter Paul Tombo. And now Attorney Prosecutor not me questions ni Attorney Migs to discuss more about cyberlibel. Now, I believe no naisgutan na nato ang Facebook, but what if ang jurisdiction no ang gigamit is Facebook Live? Is it still considered na
Like
public?
right now.
Yes, very much so. Very much so. Facebook Live, any social media platform is the best example of information communication technology, and that sets cyber libel apart from the traditional libel, because yung traditional libel, it's print libel yung sa newspaper or printed newspaper. Pero itong cyber libel, what makes it cyber libel is when you commit libel with the same element as that under the revised penal code, but you commit it through and with the use of a computer system or the use of information communication technology. And Facebook is ito yung best example ng information communication technology. So when it's done through Facebook Live, definitely pasok po siya sa cyber libel.
Fiscal, for example lang to, something malicious, di ba? And then I commit cyber libel right now. Kinsa man ang jurisdiction, may jurisdiction yan. Like, where do I file the case? Or where does ACE file a case or you file a case if I say something malicious against you?
The jurisdiction under Section 21 of RA 10175, it is the regional trial court or the designated cybercrime court of that is the venue anyway. Pero pwede mo siyang i-file sa kung where any of the elements of cyber libel has been committed, or where any of the computer or computer system is situated in the Philippines, or where the malicious statement was published. So for instance, Ngayon, nandito ako sa Davao City. Then ngayon, nabasa ko ang isang malicious post against me, which was posted by someone who is located in Manila.
Yeah.
Okay? So, pwede kong i-file dito sa Davao City because I'm a resident here and I've read the post here in Davao City, but I could also file it in Manila because the computer system that was used is located in Manila. But kung ifa-file ko siya dito sa Davao City, it will now preclude the filing of the case in Manila. So kung saan mauuna. Okay?
Yun yung, and then, pagdating po doon, diba, papasok yung double jeopardy because you can't file anymore in two jurisdictions and also libel and cyber libel. So mamili ka kung magla-libel ka or magsa-cyber libel ka. Tama ba yun?
Yes, that is true. But you know, if it is done through the use of computer system, you might as well file cyber libel than traditional libel because cyber libel is punished by a higher penalty, which is prison correctional in its maximum period to prison mayor in its minimum period, or a fine ranging from 6,000 pesos up to the maximum amount determined by the court or both. So you might as well file it. You might as well file for cyber libel if it's done through the use of computer system because mas mataas yung penalty. Mm-hmm.
Okay, no. So, Prosecutor, what if ang kaning nag-post no sa either sa Facebook, sa Twitter, sa Instagram, or any other social media platform, located siya, dili siya within the Philippines but abroad. So, makasuhan ba gihapon ni siya og cyber libel?
Well, pag umuwi siya dito sa Philippines, pwede mo siyang kasuhan ng cyber libel. Definitely kung saan ka nakatira. But if you file, here's the thing, ilan na lang tayo sa mundo na cyber libel is really a crime. It is a criminal offense. For instance, sa USA, libel is just a civil offense, not a criminal offense. So definitely, you cannot file for for a crime of cyber libel doon sa USA or sa states. But pag pumunta dito yung respondent or yung accused or yung suspect, pag pumunta siya dito sa Philippines, then you can very well file for cyber libel here in the Philippines against that person. Okay? While cybercrime in general is a transnational crime, meaning borderless crime siya, 'di ba? So kung yung computers, kung yung perpetrator is located doon sa USA, then yung offended party is located here in the Philippines, then the computer used is found in another country, pwede ka mag-file ng cybercrime in any of these places. But what is peculiar about cyber libel, hindi kasi siya criminal offense sa ibang jurisdiction. So, pag uwi niya dito, pag nandito siya sa Philippines, you can very well file for cyber libel against that person, even if it was committed doon sa ibang bansa. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So dapat hindi na lang daw siya muuli no diri sa Philippines. File. But with everything natin na-discuss, attorney, no, unsa pa ang imong piece of advice to anyone na mag-gather or mag-file of cyber libel, and then paano ba ang proper gathering of pieces of information online?
Okay, I'll address muna doon sa paano ba mag-gather. We have to demystify ourselves with cyber libel kasi isipin natin pag cyber libel, it is a cyber crime, so kailangan laging ang evidence mo electronic evidence. No. Most of the cases filed before our office, ang pinaka-useful pa rin na evidence is yung traditional evidence, affidavits of your witnesses, affidavits of those people who can identify the author of the crime. Because, di ba, sa cyber libel, who is liable for cyber libel? It is only the original author of the defamatory post who is liable. That is why, when Attorney Migs mentioned a while ago, that those who liked, those who shared, as long as it's just liking or sharing a post without any defamatory statement that as long as the person who liked or shared that post did not provide for any caption that is also defamatory, that person could not be liable by just a mere liking or clicking the like button or sharing it or even commenting on the said post, because under the law it is only the original author of the crime who is liable for cyber libel. So kung meron kang mga evidence like people who can really attest to the owner of the account and to the person who really made that post, then that is very if that person will execute an affidavit and can really positively identify the respondent or the person who actually made that post, then hindi mo kailangan pumunta sa Office of the Cybercrime and use electronic evidence to prove your case for cyber libel, diba? But it will always help to strengthen your case if you have electronic evidence that can, for instance, ascertain the account, ascertain the owner of the account. But if it's done through Facebook is not really very much cooperative when it comes to cyber libel. But when it comes to other cybercrime cases, especially when it comes to OSEC cases or online sexual exploitation of children, Facebook is very cooperative. They can certify the account, or they can even provide you with evidence or any data that is within their custody in order to prove your case. But with cyber libel, Facebook is not just very cooperative. That is why you have to go back to the traditional evidence, which are the affidavits. If you have witnesses, then by all means let them execute an affidavit and positively identify the author of the crime, because it is only the original author of the crime who is liable for cyber libel. And people should be parang tawag nito, be responsible in the social media. Think before they click. While it may be true that we have a right to free speech, but when it already steps on the right of someone else, then ano na po siya? Hindi na po siya liable na po siya for a certain crime, and maybe if it's malicious, then that person could be liable for cyber libel.
All right. So daghang kayong salamat, Assistant City Prosecutor, no, very informative ang atong discussion, especially sa imong piece of advice sa gihatag sa katong mga tao no nga mag-file a case on cyber libel. So very important yun ning think before you click or before you post.
Yes. Bakit marami na mag-file fiscal sa sa office niyo next week.
All right. So daghang kayong salamat. Again, that's Assistant City Prosecutor Attorney Peter Paul Tombo. And of course, pasalamatan po natin Lady Lupido. Okay. Yes. So attorney, no, taas na sa atong discussion, but wala pa gyapon ta dira na-end atong discussion because
another isang special.
Yes. And dapat tayo live Q&A session kauban ng ato ang partner school na St. Thomas More School of Law and Business. But now, mubalik ta no after this short break.
Totoo bang effective ang VCO o virgin coconut oil sa COVID-19? Ako nang magsasabi sa iyo, effective! Ito si Cabsec Carlo Nograles. Sabi ng mga eksperto sa Department of Science and Technology, mabisa ang virgin coconut oil o VCO para mas mabilis na gumaling at pigilan ang paglala ng COVID-19. Mura na, effective pa, sigurado dahil gawang Pinoy. Cabsec Carlo Nograles, nagpapaalalang kailangan natin magtulungan.
And we're back here sa atong programang Ask Attorney Migs. Syempre, no, as promised ganina, daghan patag hisgutan about cyberlibel. And we have here no sa ato ang always ato ni ginahimo sa ato ang mga episodes. This is case number 1.
Attorney, nangatol na jud akong kamot ipang post ang mga tao nga walay bayad-bayad sa ako sa ilang utang. Pero mahadlok ko kay basin pag i-post na ako ilang mga dagway, kasuhan ko nila. Unsa ba akong pwede ra i-post na di rasad ko makasuhan? Kay di sila manubag sa akong chat, call ug text.
Okay, so I think sa aspeto na to, 'di ba? Si Fiscal sinabi na nga
Emotional, no?
niya. Oo, no? Di ba
Feel na ko
sinabi na niyan?
ang iyahang pangatol daw sa
Yes,
pag-post.
and then, alam mo, problema kasi yan ngayon, maraming hindi nagabayad sa utang. But as much as we want to post, please do not because, yun na nga, ating ang di ba, hiskut karon nga, you will be liable for cyber libel the moment you post and then malicious good siya and then ma-identify siya ng third person or you just can identify that person. Sabihin mo pa, etong tao na to hindi nagabayad ng utang. So let's just try to iwas-iwas na lang muna tayo sa mga post na ganyan. Siguro puntahan na lang natin ang mga higala nila or mga kasilingan, mag-chat, mag-text. Kulitin niyo na lang pero wag po kayo magpo-post. Pero
Yeah.
kining aspeto na to mas more on sa digital forensic kasi to. So mas kayang tubagon to ng ato ang expert. So ito ngayon ang atong second segment ng Ask Sergeant Buentipo.
Alright, so atong i-welcome no ang Digital Forensic Examiner sa Regional Anti-Cybercrime Unit, Police Staff Sergeant Richard Buentipo. Maayong gabi, sir, no, and welcome.
Gabi, sir.
Maayong gabi, Attorney Migs. Maayong gabi, Ace.
Maraming salamat, sir.
Thank you.
So,
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Okay, so sa katong ato ang case, attorney, no nga, Sir Buentipo no na gusto daw siya mag-post na daw sa iyahang kasuko no ug sa iyahang gusto na gyud siya maningil sa iyahang mga nangutang sa iyaha and mahadlok daw siya mag-post kay bahin daw i-screenshot siya and ireklamo siya and ma-cyber libel na noon siya imbis siya ang nagpautang no and siya ang giutangan. So unsa ang imuhang matubag ani, sir?
So, sa akong matubag, sa mag-urag isulti pod ni Fiscal Paul na avoid na lang niya para dili siya makasuhan sa cyber libel kung sabay pa niya.
All right. So avoid na lang gyud no, avoid kay para dili na siya
Hindi tayo
lambigit pa.
makasuhan.
Mas mo complicated pa ang sitwasyon. Now, sir, syempre daghan pa tag hisgutan about aning of course cybercrime. So nami mga pangutanan ni Attorney Migs and we hope no na we will have a very informative discussion ani. Kani siya nahisgutan nato earlier no ang kaning pag-gather of pieces sa information sa mga evidence kay importante ni siya when you file a case. So unsa ba ang mga evidence nung admissible sa court na how to determine ba kung kani ba siya nga ebidensya, pwede ba ni siya na magamit as evidence sa court?
Okay. So, digital evidence extractions and preservation should follow the international standard and the forensic investigator should be well equipped with the proper knowledge. So, under sa RA 10175, this is section 15, sa search, seizures, and examination of computer data. So, ang person, law enforcement authorities may order any person was knowledgeable about the functioning of the computer system, the measure to protect and preserve the computer data therein to provide as a reasonable the necessary information to enable the undertaking of the search, seizures, and examination. So, dapat ang integrity of the data should be preserved during sa pag-gather sa evidence.
Okay, so na-mention mo, sir, katong integrity na nai-aspeto ng data manipulation, di ba? So how do you validate katong digital evidence ka na presented na para mas masigurado nga na dili siya manipulate, dili siya dili na nasira ay yung yung mga bagay-bagay dun sa digital evidence na binigay.
So, validations of digital evidences have a digital signature, or what we call the hash value. Hash value niya. That would tell it is corrupted or not. Validation can be made by comparing. Comparing mo siya. So, hash value, mao ni siya ginatawag nato nga murag fingerprints sa files. Contents of a file and processed through a cryptographic algorithm and a unique numerical value. It is produced that identities the contents of the file. If the contents are modified in any way, the value of the hash value also change significantly. Mag-change siya kung i-alter ang original na file.
Alright. Follow up lang ko, sir, no? Pila ba kabuok ka digital forensic examiner sa Davao Region?
Sa karon diri ang digital forensic iba-iba mga siya. Nasa sa hard drive, nasa sa cellphone, nasa sa CCTV, sa video, audio video. So bali karon kami na forensic examiner diri sa Davao, tulo na lang kami, tulo ang nabilin.
Okay, so I think yung daghan-daghan jud kayo magtrabaho, sir, no? Especially pag naay mga basin karon no daghan na mag-file og case kay nakabalo na sila sa
Yes, so, totoo yan.
Sir, no, kung dungagan inyong trabaho. But now, sir, no, syempre kani siya daghan ni, no, kani mga trolls, no, ang mga fake accounts online. So mo ni siya ato ang pirmi madungog, no, sa ato ang pag-adlaw-adlaw daghay mga trolls, mga naga-comment og bisan unsa, pero ginaunsa ba nato, sir? How do we run after these trolls, no, online, especially sa Facebook, bisan asa nga social media platforms?
Ang ginabuhat na mo diya sa kanang mga trolls, mga fake accounts, naami mga cyber patrolling ang ginatawag. So, kanda kami internet investigations, cyber patrollers, during mag-cyber kami, kanang ang patrollers dapat kabalo. So, ma-determine niya ang fake accounts sa dili. So, kung nami mga complainant from Facebook, na-direct man mi kay Facebook for either or deletion or suspension. Pero sa gisulti na ni Fiscal Paul kanina nga basta sa libel si Facebook dugay gid siya makatubag sa imo. Pero kung mag-request ka lang for deletion or i-delete lang ang account, si Facebook muhatag og response pero dugay-dugay pod. Mo rin mo.
Yeah, so mo gyud na ang dilemma, no, especially with Facebook kay naka-experience pa mo ginana, sir, no, and na sila yung mga reasons like syempre karon pandemic medyo medyo limited ang ilang tao pod, so medyo dugay-dugay po daw ang ilahang pag-respond sa mga request o sa mga reklamo, no, sa ilang mga users, and especially kay daghan kayo ang users sa Facebook, no, pila ka billions around the world. So factor po na siya. So
daghan tao na nasa balay niya mag-uol kay napa-lockdown, so sige na lang rant, diba? So sa mga medyo naguguol na, medyo calm down po tayo. At wag mag-post. Pero karon
yes,
we are also joined, mas taas-taas ang, diba, storya dito, mas maraming mga sitwasyon, and we are joined by our students, some students from St. Thomas More. And of course, ato ang balik, diba, ang ating mga experts, hindi lang po si Sergeant Buentipo, but also si Fiscal, Attorney Paul, Attorney Sergeant Buentipo, sa ating live Q&A.
Okay, so ato anang i-welcome no natay mga students. So first nato nga mangutana. Ayun.
Dalawa sila, yes, ayan.
Hi. Can you hear us now?
Yes. Can you, close your Facebook Live lang kasi nagpi-feedback.
Okay. Okay, sige po. Wait. Ayan, okay na po.
Yes. Okay. Hi, Juliet and Sam. What is your question?
So, good evening, everyone. So, first question coming from me is that how can we empower cyber libel in a country like Philippines where everyone is entitled to their own opinion and bashing being part of their claimed social media rights, considering that we are talking about thousands and could be millions of active users in Facebook and in other social media platforms?
Okay, so anyone who can answer? Okay, so
So, sa cybercrime, sa MOA, ginabuhat naman na, ginarimay ng mga tao. So, maghatag kami mga flyers for reminders, nanatay balaod sa cyberlibel. So, kitang tanan nga tao, namatay right nga mag-voice sa mga opinion nato. Pero kung mapakan nato ang katungod po sa uban, so lahi na po na siya nga istorya. Mao na siya mahulog na po sa cyberlibel. So, continuation, reminder sa mga tao ang mga ginakuan, dissemination sa mga flyers. Mao na among ginabuhat sa opisina.
Okay, thank you. And Sam, I believe you have a question as well.
go guys.
So, good evening everyone.
Okay,
Hello,
good
good
evening.
evening.
Welcome.
Yes. Okay po. My question is, what other causes of action are available aside from defamation for reputational attacks on the internet?
Fiscal, I think mas expertise mo po yan.
Medyo
nakamute ka ta si Fiscal.
si Fiscal.
Ayan. Can you hear me?
Yes po.
Yes.
Okay. Like what I've mentioned a while ago, aside from cyberlibel is just one of the crime under RA 10175. It is a content-related crime, but there are other crimes which could possibly be filed against the perpetrator. No, sabi ko nga, pwedeng computer-related identity theft, which is also a cybercrime. Pwede ring computer-related fraud. Pwede ring unjust vexation. You relate it with Section 6 under RA 10175. What is Section 6 under RA 10175? These are ICT-enabled offenses. So what are ICT-enabled offenses? Ito po yung mga crime defined under the RPC or any special laws that we have in this country. But these crimes are committed through, by, and with the use of a computer system. For instance, unjust vexation, but it was done through Facebook, through a Facebook post, then ko-complain ka na naanoy ka doon sa post na yon, then certainly it now becomes an ICT-enabled crime. Pwede din pong grave threats, kung threatening yung remarks, merong threats doon, or grave coercion. Pwede din pong ganyan in relation to Section 6 in relation to Section 6 of RA 10175. Again, Section 6 are ICT-enabled offenses, or those offenses which are defined under the revised penal code or special laws done through and with the use of a computer system. Okay? Yan po.
Okay,
Alright.
All right. Thank you for that, Juliet and Sam. Thank you very much for your questions.
And of course,
They're from the College of Criminology, I think, in St. Thomas More School of Law and Business. And then we have one more. Sorry.
Napatay isa attorney nga mangutana live si Kimberly Cordelia. Maayong gabi,
Yes.
Kimberly, and
Maayong gabi.
anyone.
Naman
Good
from
evening,
the School
Attorney.
of Law.
Apa. Good evening, Attorney Migs, Sir AS, Prosecutor Peter, and Sir Richard. In behalf of the third-year law students of St. Thomas More School of Law and Business, we would like to ask this question. Can persons involved in the following three situations be made liable for cyber libel? So first situation is statements made in a group chat limited to a small group of friends which somehow leak into the public. The second situation is filing a complaint and securing a feature episode in Rafi Tulfo. And lastly, malicious declarations during on live streams by vlogging personas or content behind a paywall like subscriber-only podcast or webinars. So, mo mong pangutan na, attorney.
Okay. So first, in all three situations, it is if the statements made are libelous, defamatory, malicious, it's definitely it comes into the ambit of cyber libel because pasok siya sa elements, di ba? Because a group chat is an example of an information communication technology. It is a social media platform. Internet coverage, internet is also a very good example of information communication technology. So internet coverage ni Tulfo, so pasok siya. If malicious declaration during vlogging or live streams, it is also part of information communication technology. However, there's just some modifications for statements in group chat. Ilan ba ang tao sa group chat? Kung dalawa lang kayo, then hindi siya cyber libel. Why? Because diba, there is only publication when a third person comes in, if the defamation or the malicious statement comes into the knowledge of a third person, then that is already publication under the jurisprudence, diba? Na meron ng publication if it comes to the knowledge of a third person. So kung dalawa lang kayo sa group chat, walang publication yun kung dalawa lang kayo. Pero kung tatlo na kayo or more sa group chat, then it is very much within the ambit of cyber libel. Yun po.
Okay, so dapat sa group chats natin, dalawa lang yung nandoon, diba? Para hindi tayo maging liable sa cyber libel. Thank you so much.
So thank you tayo. And of course, pasalamatan nato ang buok na St. Thomas More School of Law and Business sa pag-participate sa atong episode karon. Taas dako jud nga to ang nahibalan regarding cyber libel, and syempre dili ni siya possible without our special guest for tonight. So daghang kayong salamat, Assistant City Prosecutor Attorney Peter Paul Tombo, and of course Police Staff Sergeant Richard Buentipo of the Regional Anti-Cybercrime Unit.
Maraming salamat po for joining us, for taking your time, and of course for answering the questions of the students and mga nagapangutana sa Ask Attorney Migs. Thank you so much. Yes. We wish you well and please keep safe.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Salamat. All right, no, Attorney, taas yun na itong discussion.
Taas na yung discussion natin ngayon. But sadly, we have to end. All good things come to an end, Char.
Of course, no, sa ato ang mga nahisgutan ganina sa ato ang episode na atay, of course, kaning legal term of the day. Okay, so muna to ang legal term of the day, and of course no sa mga nagtan-aw sa ato karon ang ato ang next topic, next episode no, that's next Monday, ato ang isgutan ng civil service and public officers.
Yes. Kay sa July, 'di ba, yung I think civil service exam. So naatay special guest naman for that.
Yes, and syempre naapod tay abangan na po nila natong next guest. Nabatay partner school ba an attorney or sa next
Wala.
Next,
I think we have in June.
yes. So abangan na sa
Yes,
viewers.
abangan. But for
So,
our next episode na atayong special guest to talk about katong civil service naman.
and public officer. Okay, so attorney, syempre no naba kay pasalamatan sa atuang
Yes, of
episode.
course.
Bro.
Kung medyo taas-taas ang atuang, 'di ba, ang ating storya karon, so I'm sure maraming mga pangutana na medyo kung taas-taas inyong mga storya and kinahanglan na jud ng abogado na atayo legal aid clinic. So mag-schedule lang mo ng consultation, libre po yung consultation. You can text 0945-186-8334 kung Globe ang imong network or kung Smart ang imong network 0908-617-1614. So may technical difficulties lang tayo dyan. 0908 po yan. Of course, this will not be possible. Ayan, ang galing, di ba? Itong live na palitan agad. This will not be possible, of course, without Mr. Ver Bermudez. Maraming salamat. Georgie Ilagan International Schools, which will be our next live, di ba? Sa susunod na live natin. Royal House Travel Inn and Dormitel in Tagum. Lexco Management and Construction Service. Carlson Aircon Services. Sa Huawei Abriza. Perez Nail Station in Mabini Street. Of course, maraming salamat sa Sunstar, sa Hilton Trucks, K1 Ramen Bar, K1 Nippon Home, and of course, the XGN, which we will appear at tomorrow at 6 p.m.
Okay, so dili lang ta nila makita diri sa Sunstar Davao every Monday 7 p.m. but they can also listen to us at DXGN 89.9 Spirit FM Davao. That's every Tuesday 6 to 7 p.m. Okay, so syempre pasalamatan nato attorney no ang atong partner school karon ang St. Thomas More School of Law and Business sa ilang pag-participate.
So, yes, and those who are interested karon na basi gusto niyo na maging abogado or kung sa college gusto niyo mag-study ng criminology, kay ganito yung mga usual topics. I think enrollment, the SEM will start on July 26, 2021. So the enrollment is now ongoing. So pwede kayo mag-start to enroll and see kung ang inyong pwede bang gawin sa buhay or profession nyo or yung calling nyo is to be a lawyer. Basig mamaya na kayo, Ask Attorney Ace Char.
Yun. So daghan kayong salamat sa tanan sa nag-uban sa atuang episode for this Monday no. Lahat ang giubanan. Yes, atong live episode no. Another live episode na pud atong nahuman attorney no. And we hope to see you next week sa atua pang ubang mga episode. Again, sa ngalan sa atuang director, scriptwriter Rob Gumba, sa atuang technical director Mark Anthony Pirandos, ako ang inyong host Ace Perez o kini ang Ask Attorney Migs, ang serbisyong legal ni Attorney Migs Nograles. Maayong gabi and keep safe everyone.